Hello and welcome back. In the short lecture, we're going to learn about creating a policies for maybe iOS. Let's start for the iOS creation in this case. So I can enter the name and description, and you can choose here the platform as iOS. And now you have the configuration options with the almost close to 4 different categories options. One would be the email settings available, so you can configure here require mobile devices to have managed email address profile. That means you would be having the exact email address to be have, otherwise it's not going to be work out. These are the managed profile email profiles which we are going to create at later point. Now you can take this configuration and followed by settings for available jailbroken devices or completely block, otherwise you will be losing the security control definitely. And similarly you also have the device threat level to be always to be secured as a best practice. Click on OK. And device properties, in this you can give the minimum and maximum OS as well as the build versions level configuration. In my case I'm leaving as blank for now. I'm going back to system security level. In the system security level, it would be most of the things all are related to the password. So if you are configuring any of the policy for the passwords, yeah, the password is to unlock for the mobile devices, click on required, then all these options gets enabled. You can choose whether the simple password is blocked or any kind of complaints, the length as well as the password required configuration. These are the similar settings which you have on your Windows 10 devices. In fact, at least for the password related configuration, there's nothing new. You can go through them. It would be most of them are self-explanatory. If you are facing any of the issues, you can always come back to me in a questions sections or Q&A section another way. So I'm just gonna not configure these and click on OK. And going back to system security, the system security is nothing but the password which we just done. So let's close this, click OK. Now actions for non-compliance, this is where again for the notifications, if you wanna configure, you can do the notifications. Also you can configure your mark device as a compliance. If you don't want to mark for devices for the compliance level, there's no point that you create a policy and you're not acting on it, so it would be required that configuration. So you can send that, hey, remotely lock that compliance devices. If you are if you found that the mobile device is not maybe jailbroken, you can say that, hey, just lock that device for the after maybe a compliance schedule is reached. Maybe you can say that after 5 days it can be blocked, something like that. You can set it, or immediately if you want to configure immediately, you can set it that configuration to 0. Now I'm going to configure for the notifications here. So send an email notifications. Again, I can choose my template, and this template related section I have already covered in the next section. You can check that section just for the notification purpose. It's straightforward in fact. And also you can check the groups, which groups you wanted to send an email alert. In this case I'm gonna send for all help desk team. Click add and click OK. That would actually create this policy. Now as a next step, we have to assign this iOS related policy, which we are going to do it from assignment, and simply you can assign for all users, or maybe a specific to all iOS devices, or you can exclude if you are looking for any kind of users to be excluded their specific settings. You can do all these configuration. Click on save. That would save the configuration. What if you want to do any kind of further level of configuration or editing to be done of any of these policies? When I say all these policies, any of these compliance policies, just go to those that specific policy and go to properties. That's where you have the configuration, and you can do the configuration on a specific categories. That concludes the iOS related policy creation. Thank you for watching this.